Okay, so it's either the angry old man yelling or the creepy old man whispering. Either way, not exactly what you'd expect from the leader of a country where everything's going great. Here with the reaction is California Republican Party Chairwoman Jessica Millan Patterson, along with political commentator Alicia Krause. Great to see you both. I don't know. I mean, I can't. I just want to watch the over. Just this yelling. It's so weird. He's always yelling.
He is. And, you know, this is a guy who ran on not being a divider, but being a uniter. Yes. And he continues to just alienate half of the country, 5 million Republicans that live here in California. And it's just been so unfortunate to watch because he said he was going to bring our country together. And he's done anything but.
I mean, what's he so angry about?
Maybe his approval rating?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that I think that he really thought and likes to blame everything on the previous administration, yes, which we've seen Democrats do in the past. He learned this from, you know, the guy that he was VP for. Obama did this a lot, where it's, oh, you know, it's Bush's fault, and Biden has done that it's Trump's fault. But if you look at the data and you look at polling, Americans and voters aren't buying that argument anymore. So maybe that's what he's ticked about.
It's just weird because I don't know whether, you know, he thinks it's a sort of compelling way to make a point, or they've told him that it. I mean, it just feels so weird. And exactly as you say, rather than bringing people in, it's just pushing them away.
He could be talking about the 40-year high inflation and how he's going to fix it. But we know he doesn't really have a plan.
Because he caused it.
He caused it, and then he celebrated a 40-year high inflation while those numbers came out on Wednesday. Yes. It was just absolutely ridiculous to watch. He could be talking about spiking crime that is affecting Democrat-run cities and states all over our country. And people are worried about these things. He doesn't. Instead, he finds ways to be divisive and divide our country.
That's exactly what he's doing. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, but like as far as they're concerned, they want to make the election. There's all this stuff about democracy. Mm-hmm. It's demonizing the opponents. Mm-hmm. It's like it's really ruthlessly cynical. I mean, it's the exact opposite, as Jessica said, of what he said he would do.
It's also the exact opposite of what the voters are paying attention to right now. Right. It's the exact opposite of those kitchen table issues that you have moms, working moms, that are still experiencing a she-session after COVID and the pandemic, and you have minority kids that are still being forced masked in places that are with after-school programs in blue states. You still have people, I mean, groceries are up 13% across the country. Fuel is up across the country. You go anywhere in this country, that's what people are affected by. And I think Democrats are trying to pivot that conversation before the midterms. But he needs to like reel it in, stop holding hands with people that aren't his wife, and get back on the issues. But it feels weird to give him advice because I obviously don't want the Democrats to win.
I know, because they just make a mess of everything. And it's either because they're, you know, totally incompetent, or actually more and more because it's this far left extremism that's really taken over the party, I think.
It really has. And, you know, when we just saw earlier Gloria Romero in here, who has seen it within her own party.
Yes.
When we talk about education, which is something that she's been a champion for here in California, and we're watching as 50% of our students are not reading at grade level in California.
That's an amazing statistic. That's exactly right.
And when you talk about math and science, it's less than a third. We should be tackling those issues. That's a way to bring people together, fixing our education system.
And it's an issue that polls well, even amongst like Democratic women here in the state. So it's something that I think should be a bipartisan issue that we are working on together to help America's children, because I thought that we cared about the future of the country. But
I know, and I mean, but there's no chance of it when you've got this sort of angry old man wandering around sort of yelling at everyone. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we have to elect more Republicans, and we have a lot of opportunities to do that.
Kind of. That's the perfect contribution that I would expect from a party chair. Very good. But I mean, no, we'll talk. Actually, that's and also a perfect way to tee up our conversation later in the show with Jessica and Alicia, who'll be back. We'll be talking about the chances of Republicans and Democrats in the midterms. We'll see you later on, and we'll be back after this short break.